A quiet forest. Ice for 1,000 miles. Snow drifting for 10,000 more. The story opens cold and oppressive. Dani can't reach her sister, and since her sister already has mental health issues, she's extremely worried. She calls her boyfriend Christian, crying and venting her fears. But after the call, Dani worries she's being too dependent on her boyfriend, feeling anxious and conflicted. Christian is actually hanging out with his anthropology classmates, who complain that his girlfriend is too much trouble. Didn't you want to break up with her ages ago? Why haven't you done it yet? Let's go to Sweden for our vacation and meet some girls. Before they can finish their conversation, the phone rings again. Christian picks up to hear Dani's heart-wrenching screams. Dani's sister has committed suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning, taking their parents with her. 3 bodies lie in the dark house. Dani breaks down crying while Christian awkwardly tries to comfort her as snow falls outside. Under these circumstances, Christian certainly can't break up with Dani now. She's consumed by grief, eating and sleeping mechanically, numbly going through the motions while clinging desperately to her remaining loved one. At a party Christian attends, which Dani tags along to, friends mention their upcoming trip to Sweden for Midsommar festivities. Dani is surprised and hurt. When they get home, she confronts Christian about not telling her about this trip. Christian feels the pressure of their relationship, while Dani fears he'll abandon her too and quickly apologizes. To appease his girlfriend, Christian casually invites her along. His friends aren't thrilled when they hear, but Christian reassures them, "Don't worry, Dani probably won't actually come." Pell, the Swedish guy who invited them, is friendlier and chats with Dani about the village's beautiful and interesting celebrations. They'll elect a May Queen, he says, and since he's also lost both parents, he understands her grief. Hearing this, Dani breaks down again and rushes to the bathroom. The next scene cuts to an airplane bathroom where Dani is sobbing alone. Apparently, overwhelming grief after crying, she returns to her seat and sits properly, her boyfriend oblivious to her pain. The car drives toward the village. Pell is driving. Mark, the crude one, only has sex on his mind and cares only about hooking up with Swedish women. Josh, the black student, carries a book. He's here to gather material for his thesis. Christian still has no idea what to write his thesis about. As the road stretches ahead, the camera does a dramatic flip. The world turns upside down like a dividing line, seemingly foreshadowing that they're entering an extraordinary realm. At the village entrance, they encounter a group of locals and another couple, British tourists who are also invited. The villagers warmly invite everyone to share their freshly brewed Swedish mushroom tea, their version of psilocybin tea. After drinking, everyone collapses on the grass. Though it's nighttime, the Nordic midsummer night remains blindingly bright, creating a disorienting effect. Everyone feels closer to nature. Dani's hallucinogenic experience is more intense. She sees grass growing from her hands, then panics and runs into a small hut where she sees her sister's reflection in a mirror. But these are all false alarms. Dani is awakened. Turns out she just fell asleep. After walking a long stretch on foot, they finally reach the isolated village. The village is bathed in sunlight with lush green grass. All the villagers wear pure white clothing, creating a very fresh, clean aesthetic. The leader warmly welcomes their arrival. They're about to begin a 9-day festival. At dinner time, everyone sits in a strange, symbolic formation, staying perfectly still and silent before singing a song and then eating. The outsiders are all fascinated by this place, though only Dani remains sullen. Children perform a dance with a frightening name, Flaying the Fool. A beautiful, long-haired girl secretly kicks Christian under the table, laughing happily. Christian gets up to join the dance. Pell presents Dani with a drawing, remembering she mentioned it was her birthday. "Happy birthday," he says, continuing to show them around. In the distance, there's a yellow temple and a bear. They also see a mural with fresh brushstrokes but disturbing content. Then they check out their accommodation, a hall covered in paintings where villagers under 36 all live together with no privacy. Why 36? Because they compare life to 4 seasons, each 18 years long, totaling 72 years: spring, summer, autumn, Winter. What happens after 72? Dani asks. Pell playfully makes a cutting gesture across his neck. On the wall, Dani notices photos of previous May Queens. Christian, reminded by Pell, gives Dani a small birthday cake, apologizing for almost forgetting. As this strange day ends, Pell tells everyone that tomorrow they'll hold the Cliff Festival. He won't reveal what it is. They'll have to wait and see. The feast begins with everyone sitting in rows. The main focus is on two elderly people at the head table who hum and chant incomprehensible verses. Mark, being arrogant, whispers and rudely mocks these customs throughout. After everyone drinks, the elderly are carried away. The villagers follow to the base of a cliff, looking up with reverence. The guests follow curiously, sensing something ominous. After reciting from a holy book, the old woman first cuts her palm and leaves a bloody handprint on a stone covered in runes. She stands at the cliff's edge while Dani watches from below, squinting in the dazzling sunlight. The guests are terrified, but the villagers remain calm, as if witnessing something completely ordinary. When the old man also approaches the cliff edge, the British couple desperately shout to stop him, but no one pays attention. The old man jumps, breaking his legs but still breathing. The villagers look disappointed. Several villagers approach with mallets and bash his head until he dies. Only then do they return to their calm state. The sunlight is so clear, the clothes so white, even the rocks are pale and clean, yet what happens is so bloody and bizarre. People's worldviews are shattered. The female priestess explains that the elders have reached the end of their life cycle. This is a great joy for them. Aging is uncontrollable and should be stopped in time. Dani stares at everything, speechless. Christian tells her to go calm down and hurries away. Dani leaves the crowd alone, kneeling in the grass and crying hysterically. Christian rushes to find Josh, saying he wants to write his thesis about this village. Josh explodes with rage. You can't even do internet research without me holding your hand, and now you want to steal my thesis topic? They part angrily. Christian immediately seeks out the long-haired girl from earlier, asking about customs. Meanwhile, Dani considers leaving, but Pell comes to comfort her. I know what you're going through. My parents died in a fire. Trust me, I understand you. Here you'll feel embraced by a real family. As Pell consoles her, he moves closer in an intimate way. Dani realizes this isn't appropriate, but Pell points out, does Christian give you security? Does he treat you like family? Dani can't respond. Her deepest fears have been exposed. During a nighttime ritual, a small girl comes forward to be sacrificed. Just as she's about to be dropped, Dani screams to stop it. It actually stops. The villagers explain that showing the girl's bravery was enough. What kind of insane customs are these? Dani can't stand it and tells Christian she wants to leave. But Christian refuses. We need to be tolerant of different customs. I want to use this for my thesis research. He acts like she can leave by herself if she wants to. Dani is hurt. Don't you love me anymore? Christian immediately takes the moral high ground. You're so manipulative, always being nice to me. It's too much pressure. I'm exhausted. During the argument, Christian simply walks away, leaving Dani in the darkness. Dani's mind is in chaos. She gets sleeping pills from Josh and barely falls asleep, dreaming that Christian and his friends drive away in a car. It's just a nightmare, but it shows how insecure Dani feels. The next day, Pell tells Christian and Josh that the elders have agreed to let them write papers about the village. Both are eager to outdo each other in research. Dani witnesses the long-haired girl secretly placing a wooden token under Christian's bed. Pell says it's a love rune. Thoughtfully, he hides the rune without sharing this information with Christian. Meanwhile, the thoughtless Mark urinates on a tree. Immediately, villagers start crying. It was an ancestral tree where ashes had been scattered. It's utterly disrespectful. Christian laughs at the scene while Mark acts indifferent. I didn't know. What can they do to me? Dani and Christian meet and embrace, making up, or rather, Dani compromises and agrees to stay for Christian's sake. Remember that British couple? After witnessing the cliff ceremony, they reacted strongly and insisted on leaving. But the girl has told her boyfriend already went to the train station by car and will come back for her later. How could this happen? Leaving the girl alone. Since the couple was deeply in love and inseparable, the girl doesn't believe it at all. Dani tries to discuss this with Christian, but he dismisses it, focused only on his academic research, asking villagers about inbreeding customs. Josh is also interviewing elders about their practices. The elder introduces their holy books and mentions that deformed children born from inbreeding serve as oracles. Josh wants to photograph the books, but is refused. As they delve deeper, what dangers await them? At dinner, Dani again brings up the British boy abandoning his girlfriend. Christian dismisses it as a communication problem. Dani feels somewhat defeated, saying, "You do the same thing to me." Christian looks at her briefly, then returns to competing with Josh. He takes a bite of cake and finds a hair inside. Remember that long mural from earlier? When a girl likes a boy, she writes love runes with pubic hair and menstrual blood for eternal union. Speaking of which, Christian's drink is much darker in color than everyone else's. Meanwhile, Mark keeps complaining about being stared at for just taking a piss. Suddenly, some girls call him over. Girls. Of course, he happily follows. That night, Josh sneaks in a photograph, the holy books. A figure appears at the door with Mark's face. Josh relaxes momentarily, then gets knocked unconscious and dragged away, bleeding. The attacker is a villager wearing Mark's flayed skin. The next day, the elder announces the holy book has been stolen, and both Josh and Mark have disappeared. Christian quickly distances himself. "I don't know anything. If they really stole the book, then we're not friends." Since that's settled, they continue with the festival activities. Dani joins the other girls in traditional dress, wearing flower crowns and drinking strange herbal tea. Hand in hand, they circle around a pole. The tea takes effect. Dani feels dazed, seeing roots growing from her feet. Christian is called away by the female priestess, who says the long-haired girl likes him, and they're astrologically compatible. "Would you like to have intercourse?" Wow, that's direct. Christian quickly says he has a girlfriend. The priestess persuasively suggests he could learn about their sexual customs, which wouldn't be bad for his research. Christian doesn't agree, but is somewhat tempted. Dani continues spinning in circles with the other girls, getting happier as she dances. This is the May Queen election. Simple rules. Whoever gets dizzy and falls is eliminated. Christian comes to watch. When the long-haired girl sees him, she falls down and quits. Dani keeps dancing while watching her boyfriend with mixed feelings, continuing to spin and jump. As she dances, her troubles seem to blur. Even the language she couldn't understand before becomes comprehensible. "We can understand each other now," she says. The last two girls collide and fall. Dani becomes the only one left standing. Everyone cheers and rushes to crown her with a special flower wreath, declaring her the May Queen. Dani is bewildered, surrounded by everyone for photos. She stands in the center of the crowd while her boyfriend remains distant, seemingly unreachable. Everyone embraces and kisses her warmly. In the crowd, she even sees the shadows of her deceased family. They bring a platform, and Dani shakily stands on it until she's steady. It feels pretty good. She's carried to the dining table, seeing leaves on chairs moving and breathing. Everyone toasts her. "We are family now." Dani becomes somewhat intoxicated by the joyful, warm atmosphere. After drinking, Christian feels dizzy. The long-haired girl gives him seductive looks and walks toward a house. As May Queen, Dani must bless the crops and livestock, carrying a torch and riding in a human-powered cart. Christian follows a path strewn with flowers, changes into traditional clothing, inhales unknown gases, and half-dazed, enters a grand sexual ceremony, probably the most unsettling event I've seen all year. A circle of naked women sing songs, welcoming Christian. The long-haired girl lies in a flower bed, slowly spreading her legs. Older women first sing encouragement to the inexperienced girl, "Go, go, you're the best." As the ritual intensifies, everyone starts making goose-like calls and shouts. Just as I'm marveling that Christian truly was chosen and didn't get scared into impotence, he finishes. Then an old woman steps in to assist. The life-giving seating is complete. Meanwhile, Dani returns and sees this scene through a door crack. She instantly breaks down, vomiting uncontrollably and wailing in anguish. The girls comfort her, wailing along as if they can feel her pain too. The long-haired girl successfully conceives. Christian regains some clarity. My God, where am I? What am I doing? He rushes out, but sees a leg buried in the garden. Clearly Josh's, judging by the skin color. Terrified, he runs into a warehouse only to find a hanging body with its back split open like wings and eyes covered with flowers. It's the British boyfriend, his lungs still quivering. He's still breathing. Christian turns around and is immediately knocked unconscious. Finally, the festival reaches its last and most grand segment, the sacrifice of life. This sacrifice requires 9 offerings. For guests, the British couple, Mark and Josh, have already been dealt with. For village volunteers, and one more person to be chosen between a randomly selected villager and the remaining outsider, Christian. The May Queen makes the choice. Christian sits slumped in his chair, completely dazed. Dani, covered in flowers, stares at him for a long time. From love comes immense hatred and disappointment. She makes her decision. The dead and living sacrifices are all placed in the temple, adorned with leaves and flowers, wearing hats, made into various human figures. Christian is stuffed inside the bear. A priest feeds the village volunteers medicine, saying it will eliminate their fear. Great fires blaze as the 90-year ceremony reaches its climax. Outside the temple, villagers sing hymns while inside, volunteers scream in agony. All the people outside seem to feel this pain too. Dani, dressed in her flower gown, slowly relaxes her constantly furrowed brow in front of the great fire, revealing a serene smile. The film ends here.